In that campaign, neither the president nor his opponent, at best of my knowledge, ever mentioned al-Qaeda. There had been almost no congressional action or hearings about al-Qaeda. Very little bit in the newspapers, and yet you walk in and Dick Clark is talking about al-Qaeda should be our #1 priority. Sandy Berger tells you you'll be spending more time on that than anything else. What did you think, and what did you tell the president as you hit that kind of, I suppose, new information for you?
Well, in fact, Mr. Chairman, it was not new information. I think we all knew about the 1998 bombings. We knew that there was speculation that the 2000 Cole attack was al-Qaeda. There had been, I think, documentaries about Osama bin Laden. I myself had written for an introduction to a volume on bioterrorism done at Stanford that I thought that we wanted not to wake up one day and find that Osama bin Laden had succeeded on our soil. It was on the radar screen of any person who studied or worked in the international security field. But there's no doubt that I think the briefing by Dick Clark, the earlier briefing during the transition by Director Tenet, and of course what we talked with about Sandy Berger, it gave you a heightened sense of the problem and a sense that this was something that the United States had to deal with. I have to say that, of course, there were other priorities, and indeed in the briefings with the Clinton administration, they emphasized other priorities: North Korea, the Middle East, the Balkans. One doesn't have the luxury of dealing only with one issue if you are the United States of America. There are many urgent and important issues. But we all had a strong sense that this was a very crucial issue. The question was, what do you then do about it? And the decision that we made was to, first of all, have no drop-off in what the Clinton administration was doing, because clearly they had done a lot of work to deal with this very important priority. And so we kept the counterterrorism team on board. We knew that George Tenet was there. We had the comfort of knowing that Louis Freeh was there. And then we set out. I talked to Dick Clark almost immediately after his, or I should say shortly after his memo to me saying that al-Qaeda was a major threat. We set out to try and craft a better strategy, but we were quite cognizant of this group, of the fact that something had to be done. I do think early on in these discussions, we asked a lot of questions about whether Osama bin Laden himself ought to be so much the target of interest, or what was that going to do to the organization if in fact he was put out of commission. And I remember very well the director saying to President Bush, well, it would help, but it would not stop attacks by al-Qaeda nor destroy the network.